And Cheryl, normally UN leader speeches are kept to about 15 minutes, but President Trump went on for nearly an hour in a speech that was not tightly focused, taking aim at European allies, renewable energy, and the UN.
Not only is the UN not solving the problems it should, too often, it's actually creating new problems for us to solve.
President Trump taking jabs at the United Nations General Assembly. Under his administration, the United States is stepping back from the UN system it helped to create following the Second World War, says Craig Kafura with the Chicago Council on Global Affairs.
It's not that every president is a huge fan of the United Nations or multilateralism and internationalism. But this seems to take it to another level.
President Trump has long sought to reduce immigration and abandon climate commitments inside U.S. borders, but has spent less time advocating that other countries do the same thing. In the nearly hour-long speech, he globalized those priorities. At times, the president stern and combative, even attacking the UN and doubling down on his immigration policy, highlighting his administration's mass deportation efforts.
Well, if you come illegally into the United States, you're going to jail, or you're going back to where you came from, or perhaps even further than that. You know what that means.
Trump urging other leaders to follow suit, claiming what he calls uncontrolled migration a crisis, saying undocumented immigrants are ruining European countries.
I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell.
Stephen Maynard Caliendo, a professor of political science at North Central College, says despite the rhetoric, the U.S. still has a prominent place at the UN and the world stage.
I think world leaders are used to the way President Trump talks. I don't think anybody was surprised by it. It doesn't mean that they accept it any better than they would, but I don't think there was a shock in the room.
President Trump later telling the UN Secretary General that the U.S. stands behind the organization. He also painted himself as a peacemaker, calling for an end to the wars in Gaza and Ukraine. But the president saying that he does oppose recognizing a Palestinian state.